Are you thinking about moving to Arizona? Well, don't pack your bags just yet, because here are 10 things you're gonna need to know before you get here. Hi, I'm Rich Breckman with Arizona Life and eXp Realty. Welcome back for another episode. In this episode, I'm gonna walk you through the 10 things that you're gonna need to know before you relocate and make the move right here to Arizona. The number one question, obviously, is it really that hot? Well, as you can see, I'm outdoors and I'm sweating. It is a July morning. Yeah, it's hot. It's really hot. Now, I came from central Illinois where 90 degrees and humid was miserable. Here, 90 isn't bad, but when you get to the 110, 115, yeah, it changes a few things. Number two, is it really that expensive? Well, all in all, living here isn't that much different, except for when it comes to homes. Now, depending on where you come from, if you're coming from parts of California, it's probably cheaper to buy a house here. But coming from central Illinois, where the median home price was 150 grand, yeah, it's more expensive to buy a home here. So yeah, your home prices here are going up just because there's a housing shortage and so many people wanting to move here. So depending on the exact location you want it to be, as far as city and neighborhood, that plays a huge role. Number three, does traffic really suck that bad? Is it bad as Chicago traffic? I wouldn't say so. But on the 10 at rush hour, yeah, that gets backed up. But good news is they're undergoing a huge project to widen that to 6 lanes with 2 HOV lanes, both ways. So that'll be nice, but it's gonna take about 4 years for that to get done. So if you're traveling, from the East Valley into Phoenix for work, you're gonna wanna time that commute appropriately. But as far as like traveling, in Gilbert itself, traffic is fine. It's just like any other, city. It's not that bad. Is it true there is no good food? I don't know who said that, but when we first moved here, we're still finding new places, but there's plenty of good food. Now I hear a lot of people complain, from Chicago, that they can't find a good pizza place, but we went to Sal's Pizza in Gilbert when we first got here. Fantastic, awesome pizza. But yeah, you might not find the same Chicago pizza. Now they have some, people have transplanted out here and open places similar, but I've found really good pizza. There's still a lot of good and unique places that aren't necessarily chains, especially downtown Gilbert. There's plenty of options. Number 5, bring water. Now this thermos is a lifesaver. So I could have my water in here, leave this in my truck in 115 degrees, and this water stays cool. We bring water with us everywhere we go. My wife, my daughters, myself, it's so vital because you can get dehydrated like that, especially when it's 115 out. Number 6. So a lot of people are worried about scorpion and spiders and like the different insects out here that may seem scary. The Palo Verde beetles, which are, they look like they're that big. But spray for pests around your home. We spray around our home, and we have not seen one scorpion or any of the things that people always try and scare you about. We have no issues. So I would always recommend spraying for pests. Number 7, sunscreen, especially when it comes to kids. But don't just put it on, make sure you are reapplying that. Nothing worse than getting a sunburn for the short term, and 2, skin cancer, it's a real concern, especially when you're living on the Valley of the Sun. Number 8, plan on your friends and family calling you often because they're gonna wanna visit. With so many people moving here, I get it, especially when they're in the worst months for weather for where they're at. Back in Illinois again, when it's January, February, March, it gets old, it's gray, it's cold. So plan on your friends and family wanting to come often. Number 9, get outside. There's so many great things to do, from the riparian preserve at Water Ranch, which I've done a video on, to all the parks. I mean, there's so many parks. Gilbert Regional Park, just almost every community has its own park, and there's so many different pools too, especially depending on where you live. We live in Power Ranch, so there's community pools there, and just get outside. There's so much to do, even in the hot summer. Get out there early or get out there late. There's plenty of places to go hike. Obviously, if you're going up in the mountains, make sure you're picking an appropriate level of hike for you, and come prepared with your water. Number 10, monsoon season, dust storms can happen quickly or not at all. know, I've been looking at the radar, and my wife said, or I've told my wife, like, everyone's getting rain but us. And she's like, did you look outside? And like, and all of a sudden, you know, we're getting rain and a dust storm, and you know, we've had it where, you know, trees are uprooted, knocked over. Well, it's a little bit different than your storms from the Midwest, but they can pop up, you know, super quick. And then you get that dust everywhere, and you know, your visibility is gone. But you know, something you want to pay attention to, and again, use caution. I hope you found this video helpful. Those are just 10 things that, you know, I thought maybe you'd like to know before you decided to look into making Gilbert, Arizona, or anywhere in Arizona your home. So if you have any other questions on what it's like to make Gilbert, Arizona your home, send me an email, drop a comment below, because I would love to help you. It's Rich Brecklin with Arizona Life and ArizonaLife.net with eXp Realty. Take care.